Now tuned into the greatest.
The Run with Manny Wilson podcast.
The Run with Manny Wilson podcast.
The best sports podcast there is.
Yes, sir. You heard it here first. The best sports podcast there is, all the way from Detroit to Chicago to your speakers and headphones. Let's get into it. We got a great episode here for you today. All kind of sort of things happening. Special guest coach Darryl Hudson is coming in with us. Played overseas, done coached up the game, played in college. He done did his thing. So, man, I cannot wait to touch on all the things we have going on today. But you know how I like to do it. Before we jump into the episode, I have to put you on game with some of the things that's going on with the news, whether you heard it or not. So let's go ahead and jump into the news. All right, so the news that we have today for May 9th, 2022, news for the Run. Denver Nuggets, Nikola Jokic has won the Most Valuable Player award, but this is crucial here. He's going back to back. Not only is he going back to back, but I think this is more important than him winning an award. I be trying to tell y'all I'm right all the time. I don't understand why you don't listen. One day y'all gonna listen, and I say this all the time, but you know what? Let's bring up the clip real quick. Actually, as a matter of fact, we're gonna bring in the clip. Hold on, here it is. Let's see.
Wait, I'm only gonna keep you for a second.
Here it is.
I just gotta let y'all know. Nikola Jokic is the most valuable player this year, and there's no other way around. I don't care about all that. This guy's more valuable to his team. Forget that argument for a second.
Yeah, forget
let's
that.
Talk
Forget
about
it.
the numbers.
The
but
numbers.
Let's talk about the consistency in the numbers. Jokic is the only player who's been averaging above a 50% average all season.
All season.
Literally every month of the season, he's been shooting above 50%. His last game the other night, points, 18
all right.
rebounds.
That's enough. We'll go ahead. Y'all got to go on Instagram to get the rest of that clip. Go ahead, go on the Run Podcast, or I am Manny Wilson on Instagram. Check it out and find that clip. But let's keep going with the news that we have. So congrats to Nikola Jokic, first and foremost. But also too, so alongside the news, the Sacramento Kings will hire Golden State Warriors assistant Mike Brown as the new head coach. Mike Brown, he coached 8 seasons in the NBA and worked as an assistant under Steve Kerr, as well as Greg Popovich, along with others as well. But Steve Kerr and Greg Popovich are the most notable and the most successful. But congrats to Mike Brown as well, doing his thing, getting a job. All right, in the Memphis Grizzlies, Ja Morant will likely be out for Game 4, says head coach Taylor Jenkins. And Ja Morant, he suffered a knee injury in Game 3 of the series after a hard trap between Jordan Poole and I think it was Wiggins as well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Wiggins as well, but long story short, he got a knee injury. They don't have much information about it. They're still deciding if he'll be able to come back this series or not, but as of Game 4, he will not be playing. All right, and the Dallas Mavericks, they evened the series the other night, making it 2-2 against the Phoenix Suns after winning Game 4 last night, 111-101. And the Philadelphia 76ers as well, they had a game last night. They tied the series against the Miami Heat in last night's win, 116-108. That was a hell of a game that we got to witness. But something that's kind of interesting also is that last night in Game 4, Harden, he had his first game over 25 points in the playoffs. And also his first game over 25 points since the end of March, which was the regular season. So that's something kind of wild to think about, that, you know, his play, and he had a good game. Long story short, that shows he had a good game. But James Harden, he did his thing last night. No need to sugarcoat that at all. Was 4 for 19 the game prior to Game 4. But Game 4, he stepped it up. He did his thing. Again, 31 points. I'm going to give him a round of applause for that. 31 points, 9 assists, shot 6 for 10 from behind the arc, and he continued to distribute as well. But it's something the Philadelphia 76ers needed, because they're going to need a lot more games like this in order to pull this series off. The role players, they stepped up big these last 2 games, mainly Danny Green and Tobias Harris. Those 2 guys were absolutely amazing. We know what we're getting from Joel Embiid, and Maxey has become that guy where we're starting to see what we can get from him on a nightly basis. He's becoming more and more consistent, which is great for them. But all 5 starters had double figures in game 4 last night, and all but one had double figures in game 3, which was also in Philadelphia, and they also won. But here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. I'm a little concerned because Philly, they still don't have depth. And they have to remain spectacular. But if the role players outside of that starting 5 is not good, then they're going to struggle. But even with Philly, while they struggle, the Miami Heat also struggle. And it's weird because you may watch these games of the series, game 1 and 2, and you think, oh, okay, this team is dominant. They got it figured out. And you may watch 3 and 4 and say, damn, well, Philly came back. Maybe it was Embiid that was doing his thing. Maybe it was because Harden was playing a little better. But no. Here's what it is. We've got some weird things going on with this series, and I've happened to figure it out. So hear me out, because I figured it out with this series. These teams have both wet the bed miserably on the road. They are absolutely terrible on the road. But hear me out. Stick with me. So these teams, I'm going to start off with the Miami Heat. In game 3 and game 4, that's where we witnessed the most recent times when Philly was at home. Miami, we've seen them win game 1 and game 2. And you can credit it to no Joel Embiid, whatever you want to do. Harden played terrible, however you want to sum it up. But this is what it ultimately comes down to. In game 3, the Miami Heat, they shot 7 for 30 from deep. 7 for 30 from deep. And Jimmy Butler was the only person to score over 20 points in that game 3, and obviously they lost. But game 4, look at what they did here in game 4. Check this out. They came back game 4, said, all right, we know what we got to do. We just got to be better. And they got worse. They shot 7 for 35 instead this time, which was 20% from deep. And how the hell do you expect to win any type of ball game when you are shooting that bad? Teams are hurting themselves dying by the 3 ball. Teams are hurting themselves dying by the 3 ball. One more time. Teams are killing themselves dying by the 3 ball. Because let's go back into game 1 and game 2, where Philadelphia lost those 2 games and Miami was at home. Hear me out for a second. Just stick with me. Stick with me, because this series, I have it figured out. I'm telling you. You go back to game 1 and game 2, the Philadelphia 76ers was on that opposite side of shooting terrible on the road. Now listen, what? What? This makes no sense. But look at it. Game 1, going to game 1 where Philly lost, 76ers shot 6 for 34 from deep. Like, what the hell? When these teams are on the road, they are not good. They are, or they haven't been good. I don't want to put this all in one big block, but recently they have not been good this series. They've been absolutely terrible, because even going to game 2 with Philly, when we look at what was going on, oh, they came back game 2, still no Joel Embiid, whatever. You can use all of that as an excuse if you really want to, but this is what it comes down to. Teams are dying by the 3 ball. The 76ers shot 8 for 30 in game 2 from deep. Now, why the hell are you shooting so many threes if it's not going in? Stop, please. Figure something else out. You're killing yourselves literally trying to make a comeback or trying to force this 3 ball to drop, and you're not making anything, because we see here from both teams that each time they've shot the ball this horrible, they both lost. They've lost. And it happened to be when one team was at home, the other played terrible. Or when the other team was at home, the other team played terrible. You get what I mean by that. But ultimately, this series here is going to come down to who can win on the road and who can protect home court if you're Miami. So Miami has to protect home court. Philly, they have to either steal a game or come out on the road and ball. They have to ball. They have, because they don't have the home court luxury. Because even when these teams were at home, you look at Miami playing at home each time, percentages were much higher and much more efficient. Their 3-point makes were doubled when both of these teams played at home. And that says something right there. That says that, one, they're more comfortable, and they got to figure this out. They got to figure this out in terms of going on the road, because whoever can pull off that victory on the road will probably be the team that steals this series, and that will prevent, if Miami can steal a game on the road, that will prevent 7 games. If Philly can steal a game on the road, that will probably prevent 7 games. But if each team protects home court and nobody steals a game, it's going to Miami. It's going to Miami. Give me a round of applause. That's going to Miami if no one protects home court, or if they continue to protect home court, and that's all from that point. But as far as these teams here, I'm going to go ahead and stick with the villain. So I'll be going with Miami here. I think they're going to be the team that's just ultimately going to continue to protect home court and pull it off. But that's all we got here. Let's go ahead. We're going to move on. Again, as I mentioned, man, we got Coach Darryl Hudson coming in. This is about to be a crazy, cool interview here. Cannot wait to get him on the mic and chop it up about basketball and about his story of playing overseas and the adversity he's faced. This is about to be great. So what we're going to do here, we'll take a quick break. And then once we come back from the break, we're jumping straight into the interview. So let's go ahead and do it. We'll hit you with a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Now, just because you're busy doesn't mean you got to be stressed. I'm crazy busy right there with you, but it can be easier. Next time you're on a run, just make it more fun and listen to The Run with Manny Wilson.
Now tuned into the greatest.
The Run with Manny Wilson podcast.
The Run, the Manny Wilson podcast.
The best sports podcast there is.
Yes, sir. You heard it here first. The best sports podcast there is, all the way from Detroit to Chicago to your speakers and headphones. I'm here with my special guest, as I mentioned, Coach Darryl Hudson. What's the deal, man? What's going on with you today? Oh, hold on. We got to get you right on the Zoom. We got to get you right on the Zoom. Zoom be doing people bold. Oh, where you at? Go ahead. I got you here.
Oh, no, man. Just taking day by day, man.
Day
by day. Enjoying it. All that kind of good stuff. But, yeah, I'm here. Happy to be here.
Yeah, let's do it. So, hey, you got to punch in the ticket. I told you I went over all questions and everything, but I tell you this. So you got to punch in the ticket. This is just basketball question, barbershop type question, whatever the case is. So you got 5 players, and we talking straight skill. We talking straight skill-wise. We ain't talking all-around rebounding. When it comes to straight skill set of the game of basketball, who's the top 5 basketball players when it comes to straight skill? Who we rolling with?
Kobe Bryant.
Okay, respectable.
Kyrie Irving.
I love it.
I got to throw MJ in there.
Yeah, have to. I respect it.
Olajuwon.
I'm
Man,
waiting.
That last one is tough. Just for the simple fact, you kind of like.
It's a toss-up.
You know what? I'm going to go. Ooh, that's.
Let's hear it.
I'm going to go skill. We're just talking skill. It's going to be between. You got one that's just extremely fundamentally sound. Then you have another post player that's just. He has an all-around package a little bit. So it's going to be between Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett.
Ooh, okay.
We're talking skill.
Okay, I respect that. You threw me off. I will say you threw me off a little bit. I was when you were debating, I was thinking you was going between a KD and I don't know if you.
Is extreme. He's extremely skilled, but you throw Kobe, Kyrie, in there. It's kind of tough. So mean,
yeah, I'm personally just glad you threw Kyrie in there, dog, because Kyrie, he get a lot of hate because he be just wilding sometimes in the media.
Kyrie goes down probably, if not the most skilled basketball player of all time.
Yeah, his skills, when you talk strictly skill, it's insane. Yeah. It's impeccable.
If you want a bag, that's a bag.
Yeah, it's impeccable. And I'm glad we on the same page about that. I can't wait for so many people to hear this. And man. Yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into it, man. Let me just list the accomplishments. I didn't even get a chance to do all of that yet, man. So you went to Howard straight from high school, graduated 2007. You on a 1,000-point scorer list at Howard, ranked 7th all-time scoring at Howard. Leading a program, you led in what? Free throws. Led in free throws. You 5th all-time in free throws. Oh man, you was a killer out there, dog.
This probably has changed in the scoring thing just for the simple fact that I'm old now. But I mean, I should be up there somewhere.
Hey, yeah. From what I heard, man, or last time I looked, you was still up there, and there was a lot of people that they were stagnant. Like it was people that second place had this record, just because they numbers was still stagnant. Right. Yep. So I noticed that last time I looked, and also too with the free throws, you're still 5th in all time in free throws. Yeah,
hey, try to at least.
Yeah, you still up there in free throws. I peeped that. But leaving Howard, you went to go play overseas. 7 seasons, right? 7 seasons.
Between 7 and 9, it was kind of chopped up. I know people were probably thinking like 7 and 9, but I throw 8 in there because that last year in Luxembourg was kind of a blur. So about 8.
Man, yeah, that's so dope, man. And that just kind of bring me to a thought. What was that environment like? Switching from like standard United States basketball and then going overseas where it's like probably a language barrier. It's probably like you don't really know too many people because you're just there to hoop. You trying to just play. What was that like, man, that experience?
I mean, the experience was incredible. I mean, going from different countries, every country has different cultures. They do things different ways. As far as like stores closing at a certain time, it could be 7 o'clock. I mean, they shut down everything. The city in Paris is just jumping like New York all day. Yeah. So we're going. You could be in Sweden, in a Scandinavian country, Sweden or Finland, and it get dark real quick. But food is good. So it's kind of like, it's like a give and take in different countries. As far as the language barrier goes, I kind of went at a great time because everything it was Americanized. So when you went over there, obviously they spoke their own language. I give you an example. For instance, when I was in France, there's something about being over there where they kind of want you to speak their language. But you do find people over there that they're going to help you out by speaking English or whatnot. Right. But everywhere I really didn't have a problem. I kind of picked up the language just for fun, just to actually be able to communicate with the players over there. So I went at a perfect time where everything was kind of Americanized.
That's what's up, man. That's dope. I always thought about that, especially with like me recently finishing school. That was something I wanted to do, is like go abroad, go study abroad. And that was my biggest thing personally, like, damn, the language thing. And I was learning Spanish at the time, but like, I might be all right. But it was still just like in the back of my mind, like, man, how we speak it so fluent. So it's like whatever. But to people learning it could be difficult. So no, that's what's up though. Was the basketball environment, like in terms of arenas and stuff like that, any different in terms of crazy, or was it like kind of chill?
The atmosphere over there is ridiculous.
For real?
I mean, sometimes you could tell some of the people weren't even paying attention to the games because it was a rivalry between our team, other team. I mean, these guys is fighting. I mean, I have videos of our crowd fighting with the other crowd while the game is still going on. We just ignore playing, people throwing flares out on the court. I mean, it's a lot. At the same time, what I loved about it is just every country I've been in, they had passion for their team. Like it's just competitive nature, man. That's all it was.
That's what's up, man. Damn, that sounds dope. I seen a clip recently, and this is what made me ask that question, because I seen a clip recently. It was I think KD posted it or something, But
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, he posted. I'm like, damn. Then I had you coming on. I'm like, oh, I'm asking him about that. Like, that's crazy.
But you couldn't do that stuff over here, man. It'd be a fight.
Oh no. Oh hell no, man. And then with the way culture is now, it's a little too soft now. Like, I think
it's competitive. It's competitive nature, man. They don't take it. Once the game is over, it's over.
Right.
Like it's done. Here, they'll carry that on the next week.
Oh yeah. They dragging, and then they got the cancel culture out here. They like, nah, he said F me to the crowd. Like, yeah, they be so sensitive nowadays. So yeah, it'd be crazy. But no, that kind of brings me back to even before that, going forward. Just like, I'm gonna jump around a little bit, but like prior to going overseas and prior to even getting to Howard, man, like starting off, just going all the way back. What kind of instilled that to you? Like, damn, I want to play basketball. I want to take it serious. And like, this is something I want to be good at. Cause I always like to think, people see the results and they think, oh, well, damn, he was just good. So he got there, but they don't see the behind the scenes of everything that happened that led him to that point. So that's kind of goes to my question of like, what was those things behind the scenes of like when you were younger, building you up to that point where you like, I got to do this. I got to do it the right way. I know I just got to put my head down, get to it.
Well, I gotta give first of all, I gotta give credit to my parents. Mm-hmm. My parents were tough. I mean, they were tough, but they were fair at the same time. Mm-hmm. They were. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say I wasn't a spoiled kid. Mm-hmm. Kind of got what but I had to do what I needed to do in order to get it. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
My parents supported me, and it kind of taught me: if you work hard, you get rewarded for it. Mm-hmm. Now you might not all the time, but you might get something out of it. So I got to give credit to my mom and my dad. I grew up in San Diego, California. I was born there. I was born in California, and I was a military kid. My dad was in the military. Mom is a nurse, still is a nurse. My dad is retired now from the military, and also a company he worked for called Solar Turbines. But that's another story. But I got into basketball. Well, my first sport was really Taekwondo.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I got into Taekwondo basically to teach myself discipline, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then maybe Taekwondo was on fire then. I don't know. I mean, I grew up being Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris and John Claude Van Damme.
Right. So, that was popping during that time, huh?
you couldn't tell me I wasn't a Power Ranger back then.
Hey, nah, I feel it, bro. I feel it.
I was back when I was a Power Ranger. I was morphing in the bathroom. You know what I mean? I was morphing time. So, but yeah, I got into karate, and then my next sport was football. My dad was a big football guy.
Oh, that's what's
so big Jack Tatum. Jack Tatum used to play for the Raiders, like a free safety that used to hit really hard. So I came to that environment, and then my parents are from Detroit, so they're Barry Sanders fans.
Oh yeah,
so,
automatically.
Football. So going into taught me toughness. Right. So you got the balance of Taekwondo, which is, the mental, then you got football and physical. But I mean, my parents put me in everything. I just gravitated to basketball, and ever since then, I just kind of just took off with basketball. I was still playing football until the 8th grade, and I got rid of it going into high school. But my parents were just tough, man. They just taught me how to work. Just told me, they were never satisfied with anything. I don't think my mom and my dad ever told me, like, you made it.
Right. right. Nah.
My mom was always like, and keep going.
Yeah, good job, but you still got more to do.
Still got more to do. They said good job, but it was like, yeah, good job, but you could do more than what you did.
Right. So that kept you pushing.
It kept me. It's always a level that I can never obtain type thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's where I got it from, man. I got it from my parents, and then my grandma, my granddad. They were all tough, man. They instilled the same thing.
Nah, that's what's up, man. It's important too, though, and something that you mentioned too when you said like, you got what you wanted, but it was more so like I had to do what I needed in order to get that result. I had to work for whatever I want, and that's something that's extremely important. And I like to think, regardless of whether somebody was spoiled, whether they wasn't spoiled, either way, I think that lesson is something that's so much bigger than oh, what was the result of getting this, or what was the result of getting everything this person wanted? Like knowing that, damn, if I work hard, I can get where I want to be. That right there says so much, and it sticks with you. It's something that's gonna stay with you. Like,
gotta be a balance, man. Don't get it twisted. Every time I did something around the house, whether it was wash the dishes the right way, clean the bathrooms the right way, my dad didn't bring in a pair of Jordans every time. Like,
right.
A 3.5 on my report card. He didn't bring in a new bike.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was sometimes things was just unexpected. Sometimes it was you supposed to do that.
Yeah, hey, no, for real. That happened to me a couple times, man. Like,
now that I'm old, even when I feel like I'm doing the right things, I don't look for a handout. Like, I should be getting this. So it taught me a little bit of that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to work hard. You're supposed to get good grades. You're supposed to make free throws. You're supposed to sprint and win every sprint in a down and back. Like, those are the things you're supposed to. You know what I mean? So no, that's true. That's definitely some lessons in there. And even moving forward too. So as you did get older, you got that instilled in you. You like, I'm working hard, whatever I do, just cause like that's what I'm supposed to do. And then you get to a point, you playing basketball in high school. Tell us about that time period of like senior year. Was it offers and what was that like? Let's hear that, because you went to HBCU. You know, that's love, and you give back to HBCUs because you coached up there too. But my high school career I really look back and I think everything that I went through at the time. I was pissed. I'm not going to say a lot.
What happened? What was it?
My ninth grade year, I had one bad grade. I tell this story a lot. I had a bad grade in the class, a physics class, and it was progress reports. Oh. Don't count progress reports.
Yep, it's not on your record.
Counts. So I got kicked off the team, so I didn't play my ninth grade year.
Damn.
You know what I mean? I got kicked off the team, but I had to watch every game. So that was punishment. I mean, it's one or two things. I can go home and get my butt whooped, or I can watch the game. So if my mom decided to whoop me and I still play, what lesson did they teach me? It's okay to get bad grades. Or I could take basketball away from him because he loved it, make him watch everything, every game, and he won't make the same mistake again. So I had to watch every game. I learned my lesson. So my sophomore year, I ended up playing JV. Okay. My junior year, I played varsity, but I was coming off the bench. Didn't make an impact whatsoever. You know what I mean? But that summer, I remember a coach telling my dad came to him and said, man, what do you need to work on? And he was like, Darryl is probably going to be an NAIA player. And I'm not shooting down NAIA schools because I coached I was at an NAIA. But my goal was to be a Division I basketball player. And he just told me, he's like, I just think Darryl's just going to be mediocre. And that summer, to make a long story short, I just worked my tail off. Going into that senior year, I ended up being one of the top players in Michigan. You know what I mean?
Sir.
Like team all Detroit and all that kind of crazy mess. But that whole season, I didn't have an offer. I think I had an offer from Fair State at the time. I have any offers. And all of a sudden, I get a phone call from Aki Collins. He was just coach at Howard at the time. And he was like, hey, we're going to come to the game. I'm going to bring Coach Frankie Allen. Frankie Allen was the head coach. Came to a game at Ipsy High School, and I ended up playing. It was kind of like a movie, man. I was just playing really, really well. After the game, they just offered me after the game. So I didn't even know, to be honest with you, I knew nothing about Howard University. Nothing. And that sounds so bad. I didn't know any history. I didn't know Wale, P. Diddy, and all these famous people going word, all that. I didn't know anything. But I remember getting that offer, and my mom she's the one that committed. I didn't commit.
Said, boy, you taking your behind the house.
Hey, listen, if you don't got anything, how you gonna pass up on something?
Yeah, that's true.
And that was all she wrote. That was it. That's the story right there.
And committed. Damn, that's crazy, dog. That's crazy. And then from there, you was at Howard. You was hoping at Howard.
Oh man, listen, me and you can talk hours just about Howard University. That was.
Hey, I know how y'all alum do, man. I already know how y'all. I know how y'all alum get down when y'all get to talk about Howard.
Man, different animal, man. That's a different animal. Being at Howard University, again, it just added to the toughness. I mean, playing amongst your peers. I love the Black community. You know what I mean?
Right.
They gonna tell you how you playing like trash. They gonna tell you how it is.
Straight no sugarcoating. Ain't no sugarcoating with nothing.
It, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is what it is. I mean, and then you just had to focus because there's so much stuff going on during games. It could be ooh la la's dancing and people. It could be anything going on. It just taught you how to just dial in and focus on the basketball game. But I loved everything about Howard, man. That's the real HU right there.
Hey, yeah, that's what's up. I ain't never been in no Hey, it's crazy that I say this because now I say it sounds kind of crazy, but I ain't never been in no HBCU game like that for real. So I ain't never even had that experience. I've been in a couple college games and stuff and seen how atmosphere is, but you know it's different when you talking HBCU, like whether it's homecoming, whether it's like football game, because it's talent outside. People are there to watch some of the talent outside of the particular sport. Some people are there for the band, some people are there for the dancers, some people are there like just to socialize. Like it's so many different aspects. So it's crazy that you say that focus part.
It's a big event, man. Everybody's coming just to kick it, have a good time, man, and just chill, man. Like you said, it's not really about the game like that. It's just everybody come together and cool out and have a good time.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. And then while you was at Howard, you had an elite class while you was there. You was in an elite era of basketball, dog. Like I always say that was like one of the most skilled eras of basketball. That 2000 to 2010 era, that was an elite era. And I like to, I gotta ask, who was like one of the players you played where you was like, this dude, this brother giving me hell, or like I can't do nothing with, like I can't do a damn thing about him right now. Who was one of them guys he was like, I'm about to have to come with it tonight?
In college or just in general during that time?
Let's do college first. I'm gonna jump overseas too. We're gonna touch on overseas too, but we're gonna flip the question a little bit. But we're gonna start off with the college. Now I'm gonna mess your head up a little bit right there. Got you thinking.
You know what's crazy? There was a guy at Georgetown, if I'm not mistaken, I think his name was Brandon Bowman. He was dark skinned, just athletic, man. He was super athletic. He played for Georgetown. He was pretty good. And he was playing, he could jump out he's a wing, he could jump out the gym. But there was a guy, he played for North Carolina State. His name was Julius Hodge. Julius Hodge, he was like a 6'6", might have been taller than that, 6'6", 6'8" point guard. He was tough. He was tough. And everybody else, man, it was kind of like a blur. I can't really remember who I played against. We played so many good teams, but my mentality every time going in was
kill.
Screw. Like I never really starstruck at anybody.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I got you.
All about, I had that little big man syndrome. I come from Howard. Nobody knows who we are. Yeah. So if you're supposed to be like this, then I'm about to come at you. That was just my attitude. So I really wasn't looking on a scouting report. And if I was, it was like, oh, he got to guard me type thing. Right.
Nah, yeah.
My toughest competition was probably my teammate, Louis Ford. He was about 5'3", real short, led the country at one time in assists. He was tough, man.
Damn, 5'3"?
Yeah, he was tough, man.
Damn.
He was like, at that time, he was tough, can jump, can defend, can shoot. He could do a little bit of everything, man. So Louis, he brought it every day in practice. I mean, his practices were better than what he was doing in the game, man. He was so tough. So that kind of rubbed off on me. So if I saw that every day, he's always like, yo, D, man, fuck them. Like, you know,
right. He was coming with it. So you like, I gotta come with it now. Like, I ain't about to be lacking.
Exactly. And if you're watching a guy 5'3",
man,
playing hard every night, you got no choice but to play hard if you're 6'4".
Damn.
So
you ain't lying. Damn, 5'3".
In high school, I mean, not in high school, in college, it was probably those tier guys. But then when I got to the pro level and I had a Cleveland Cavaliers workout that was set up for me, it was probably Kyrie at the time.
Oh, damn, for real?
Kyrie at the time, and I mean, Kyrie don't know who I am. I was just in there just working out at the time.
Right.
My uncle was working for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I came in there for a workout, and Kyrie Virgil and Deion Waiters was in there.
Yeah.
And Kyrie was just tearing me in pieces, man. He was just all that I see on TV right now. Man. So he was something special then. He's even better now.
Hey, that's the luxury though. Hey, not too many people people wish they had that luxury to be like, Kyrie gave me the business, dog. Like we played, he gave it. People wish they had that luxury, man.
I don't know, you know what's crazy is I don't know if they wish that, because he'll probably make them quit.
I mean, hey, I ain't gonna lie. I'm the type of person. I'm the type of person. Like, cause I played too, but like I played football, so I wasn't playing like varsity and stuff, cause I wasn't trying to do both and deal with the weight and all that. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just stick with football, whatever. I'll hoop on the side. But I was the type of player where it's like, all right, if I'm playing you and I know you like probably can give me the business, I'm talking. I don't care. I'm talking crazy. And my thing is, you said what?
You got to do something, huh?
Yeah, you got to do something. You're going to have me looking real butthurt to be like, all right, bro, I had enough. But other than that, if I know you that guy and you done scored on me, like this is pick up random, like talking trash. And like if we was to play, I already know you come with it. But if I was to score, it's over. It's over. I'm letting you hear it. I'm just saying. When it come to like, I know that person's definitely got it over me. It's like, oh, hey, I'm letting them hear it. It don't matter. Yeah, so.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm like, I wouldn't even imagine know what to do. I was to play against somebody like that, but it's also different too, because you was coming with it too, so you was that guy. So yeah, I'm looking at it from a completely different perspective, but it's still a luxury, man. That's dope that you can say you played it.
It felt like I was on defense the whole time, because I wasn't. My job when I came in there was, I had to play a role, man. You got Deion Waiters with the basketball in his hand all the time. The other guys, Kyrie's on the other team. Deion's not guarding Kyrie. Somebody got to guard. So I felt like I was on defense. And I probably shot the ball the whole time I was there, maybe 7-8 times.
Really? Man.
Out of games, you know what I mean? So
damn, right. Yeah, and that kind of made me think of something too, man. Like you mentioning that, like how you only would shoot during that time, how you only shot the ball a couple times. Talk about that, like when you take your game and elevate to the next level, because that's top tier talent. That's professional talent. And you coming out of college, like a person can be the man in high school, go to college, be trash, or be the man in college, go next level and not be nothing. Talk about like that gap of skill, like from jumping to high school, college, NBA, overseas, like whether it's somewhere else. Just talk about that gap. I got to hear about that.
It's a huge gap. High school, obviously, high school, 9 times out of 10, you're probably the man on that team, so you get a majority of the shots. College, when you come in, you're going against maybe a freshman that was freshman player of the year. You got sophomores that's doing their thing on the come up, and you got seniors that's been there. So you have to find a way to create an avenue so you can get on the court. Right. And most guys, girls, they make a mistake by coming in there thinking that, okay, since I did this in high school, I'm going to go here, I'm going to be the man. And it doesn't work like that. Sometimes it does. And that's a small percentage, but you have to go in there and you have to make sure that you're willing to buy in. That's the main thing. So if I had to tell anybody, make sure you go in there humble and you buy in, because this guys that's in front of you or girls is in front of you that's better than you at the time. You know what I mean? You have to work. You have to work. And players that go in there with that attitude, like I'm about to go in there and be a man. That's okay to have that attitude, cool.
Right.
But you better do it. I'm just telling you that right now.
Right.
And if you go in there with that attitude and you tend to fail and you tend not to succeed a little bit, you better be able to understand, okay, well, I need to humble myself let me go here and let me figure out what role I need to play. Do I need to guard the best player? Because it's all about respect. When you go in there and you go in there cocky, you're going to lose respect. Bottom line. And I learned that early. My pops told me that as soon as I went in there, hey, man, don't go in there thinking that you this, that, and the third. Go in there with a high head, confident, and ask the players, hey, man, what y'all need me to do, man, to be successful and earn your trust. So it's like that overseas. And playing in college, I'm just going to make this up. I don't even know the stats. I think my first year I might have averaged 5. My second year I averaged 7. My third year I averaged 9. And my last year I averaged 14. So every year I got better. I'm saying, and then when I went overseas, that's a totally different animal. When you go overseas and you get a deal to go overseas, they're expecting you to go over there and be the man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it kind of makes sense.
And if you're not doing it, guess what? You're on the next flight back home. So it's a different type of level. You know what I mean? Every year you have to be able to adapt. It's all about adapting. And every level you go, you have to adapt. And when I went to Cleveland just to go work out, I understood my role.
Right. No, that's huge, man. I think I'm glad you said that, because that's game. A lot of times, and this is within sports and without sports, a lot of times I feel like it's distinct times where a person has to understand, all right, I got to go in here and play my role pretty much, or understand the role that I'm going to play, whether I'm going to come in and obviously respect everybody and figure out where I best fit in. That way I can elevate and get to where I want to be. And then there's times where you have to kind of channel that, like I'm that guy. I don't work for this. Like I need like this. It's time to prove what I do. And I think it's all in divine order when you got to plan that. And I'm glad you brought that up, where it's like going to that next level. You got to have that, especially going to college, because that's where a lot of people, they want to go play in college, and that's like something that's important. So it's like being able to channel that, like, yeah, I'm good, I did this, but these guys are also here for the same reason. They done did the same thing, or probably even more. So like I got to come in with that even respect. That's something that's huge right there. Yeah, that's something huge.
Every level, man, you got to go in there like an open book. It's a clean sheet of paper, man. Right. It's a clean for every level. Once you in high school, once that chapter is done, you got to crumble that up and you got to throw it away.
Toss it out.
And you add baggage to college. It's a different animal. It's a different beast. Number one, it's a different type of work that you're going to have to be put through, from schoolwork to conditioning. We're just going to leave it at that. You know what I mean? Then we're not going to even tackle the fact that you're dealing with grown women and grown men.
Yeah.
So your body's not even like ready yet. You know? So it's different levels. As they say, it's levels to this, man. It is. I'm sorry.
It's
so you got to be mature up top, and you have to understand, hey, okay, where do I fit in? And then you got to ask questions, man. That's the biggest thing, is that a lot of players don't like to ask questions. They're so cocky coming in that they feel like they the man already, instead of just going to whoever is the man on the team and whoever the captain is on the team, he or hey, how did you do this? And when you can figure that out, you can navigate your way through college basketball easy, or any sport.
Right, and you get to pick up the game that they got. And then now you get in the game at a younger age and what they might have got. That's facts, man.
Sure.
And so what we gonna do? Here we go. We're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna jump back into the rest of the interview. I got a couple more questions I gotta hit you with. It needs I need the answers for them. But we're gonna take a quick break and then jump back into the interview here. Hang tight. Let's do it.
Yep.
Now, you know, just because you're busy doesn't mean you got to be stressed. I'm crazy busy right there with you, but it can be easier. Next time you're on a run, just make it more fun and listen to The Run with Manny Wilson. All right, what's going on? We still here. I still got my special guest, Darryl Hudson, here with me. We kicking it. We talking basketball. He telling us about life, his game, the difference in his game. at different levels, all kind of stuff. So I'm hoping y'all enjoy it so far. We got a little bit more that we got to touch on before I let him go. You know, I got to hold on to these type of moments and stuff. I'm gonna get you a shirt too, man. That way when you training folks and you in the gym, you got you a Run Podcast shirt, throw on and get your hoop on with. So,
Sorry, man. I'm a representative. I promise to promote.
Oh yeah, I got you. I got you. We just gonna talk size and stuff, and then I got you. I'll get that to you. But anyway, man, before we keep going with this second half of this interview, and this half is gonna be a lot shorter too, just as a disclaimer. But I gotta have you punch another ticket. So with this question here, you already answered your top 5 of the most skilled guys. This was a little more present time. Who's winning the finals this year? That's it. That's all I want to know. It's just who's winning the finals this year. I gotta hear what you think about it.
Man, you know, it's so even now, which is actually is good basketball. Teams tend to be fighting a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Giannis.
Yeah, that's just that guy.
the ultimate throwback, man. I mean, 6'10", close to 7 foot. I mean, powerful. I mean, he's doing everything now. I mean, he's passing and shooting, scoring in the post. He's doing a little bit of everything. And then you got Drew Holiday over there as just a steady point guard. And when they get middle back, it's going to be tough, man. You got Portis over there playing well. So if I had to say who was going to win, I'll say they'll 2-peat, man. I'm gonna go right now, but it'll probably be Bucks and the Warriors. Bucks and Warriors. Okay. I got you on that. I ain't do no segment or nothing to give my predictions, but from what I see, man, it's weird because I picked Boston to beat the Bucks just to go for the underdogs. I'm like, I just want to go with the underdogs. Celtics had a good series against Brooklyn. I was like, I'm going with the underdogs, whatever. Like, they young guns, JT and Jaylen Brown, that like they at that pivotal point where, they trying to win. Like, they ain't satisfied with no second round or conference. They trying to win it all. Right. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go with the underdogs. But Giannis is tough. He's tough. He's something special.
He's like, tough.
Throwback,
man. And then the Bucks, they got so much size. Like, I think that's an underrated aspect of the Bucks because, and I thought about this with the Warriors because I'm like, coming from the West, it's probably gonna be Warriors, but they don't have no size outside of Draymond Green. I'm like, they little kids like outside of Draymond Green. I'm like, that might work and they can probably get out the West with that, but going against Giannis, because they can adjust. They quick. They can shoot. They can get in the paint. Like, they can do it all. So I'm like, if I had to choose a team, I'd probably pick the Bucks too, just because they've been doing it, man. They've been doing it.
I'm with you. I'm with you, man. I mean, the boys is, like I said, if they don't win it, I'm okay with anybody. Yeah. Good basketball going on. I mean, Phoenix is tough. I mean, Dallas is playing well. Obviously, Philly. Yeah. James Harden had a good game. Hopefully that continues. I mean, it's good basketball going on right now. So I'm just a fan just watching it.
No, for real. Yeah, I feel it. I was actually just touching on Philly before we started the segment, before the guest segment. So you go back and listen to it. You go hear what I had to say about Philly. And I mean, it was cool though. It was I ain't even about to spoil it. But anyway, man, jumping into some more questions, some of the questions I wanted to touch on before I have you, or while I have you, I should say, is what's one of the most memorable moments just throughout your basketball career? And if it's not more so within the basketball career, it could just be like, that life-changing aspect that you got to experience. But what was one of those most memorable moments?
And it's so many memories playing and coaching. Mm-hmm. I'll probably say my first year as a college coach, because it was so much that led into that. I was a volunteer assistant at University of Michigan Dearborn. So it was an unpaid job.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't know if I should take it because, I was thinking about the money. You know what I mean? Pops and moms, they swoop in. And it's like, if you love it that much, the money's going to come. So I ended up taking that job at University of Michigan Dearborn as a volunteer assistant. And I treated that job like it was a 9 to 5. Like I was in there. I was in there tough, working with the guys on the court. And that year, we ended up winning the conference. So we went to the national championship tournament. So that year, it was just special because I felt like that it confirmed that I can actually be a good assistant coach.
Right.
You know what I mean? I went to Jackson State the next year, but I would say that was the most memorable moment just for the simple fact that we went to the championship my first year and won the conference tournament. So I would say that.
In a way, that's dope. And in a way, did it kind of confirm that was what you wanted to do? Like now that you wasn't about to be trying to I
always wanted to coach. I was real big on skill development. But I knew eventually one day I was going to be a coach. I just didn't know how to get in because all I kept hearing was it's politics. You know what I mean? So kind of like, I'm not afraid of too much, but it kind of like pushed me back because I'm like, I love the purity of basketball. And I felt like the politics don't need to be involved. So anytime I hear the word politics, I try to stay away from it. But, I just attacked and I was like, you know what? It's all about networking, talking to people. It's all about who you know in this game. And, if you want to get involved in the coaching, sometimes you gotta take a back seat and get in a different door. I mean, if you don't get in the front door, you damn sure get in through the back.
Right.
And that's what I did. So that job as a volunteer assistant, and here I am at Nebraska Omaha now.
Now that's what's up, man. Yeah, that's what's up. And then you mentioned too, like skill development, that was something you always was passionate about. And with the skill development aspect, this is something that interests me because I had this conversation a lot and we talk about different aspects, but depending on the type of player that I was speaking to or the kind of player that they were, I hear something else. What's one of the most important skills to have when you talk about, you need to have this in your bag? If you're going to be playing basketball at this type of level, you got to have this in your bag. Whether it's IQ, whether it's an actual skill, whether it's a characteristic type of thing, what's that one thing where it's like you need to have this in your bag?
The ability to learn. I mean, I think that's the biggest skill. Like if you're coming to develop, you have to want to listen and want to learn. You got to be an aggressive learner. You know what I mean? Like I could teach anybody how to dribble, or teach anybody how to shoot. But if you're not willing to, if your shot is messed up, you're not willing to change your shot, then what's the point of us even working on this specific skill? You know what I mean?
Right,
so the ability to go as a player to go into a session with a coach, trainer, whatever, you have to want to learn. That's the first thing. Number two, I would say, is so many guys and gals out here nowadays that don't understand basketball.
I agree.
They can do circus tricks and do a lot of things with the ball, but they don't understand the nuances of the game. They don't watch basketball. I don't think kids nowadays watch basketball. When obviously there wasn't that many skill trainers out there, but I could pick up and watch basketball and almost immediately go outside and emulate it. I could put myself there against 5 other guys, imaginary guys, and just do things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You had an imaginary defender in front of you. You cooking up.
I had an imagination. You know what I mean? And it is I can literally. I don't want to say it was something I was blessed with, but I can watch somebody do something, and I can just do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I can just emulate it, and the ability just to watch somebody's feet and be like, oh, it's like that, and almost do it damn near identical.
Same way.
But, listening and having, like you said, the IQ, understanding of the basketball game, I think those are the biggest skills.
Yeah, I think those are life skills too. When you put it like that, that's huge because it's simple things like that. And this is why I enjoy sports outside of the necessary like skill and athletic standpoint, because it teaches you so many lessons, man. That was something that, like with me playing sports, that was just huge. Like you got to be able to learn, like no matter what you're doing, like because you ain't gonna be the best at something. Like you're gonna have to start somewhere with anything. And like even with what I'm doing now, it was like the same way where it's like, you know, I had to start somewhere. Like I hear my old stuff like way back when I first started. I'm like, damn, you know what? Like I done came a long way. So it's crazy that you mentioned that. And also too, now you at University of Nebraska, right?
Nebraska, Omaha.
Nebraska. Okay, yep, Nebraska, Omaha. What's that experience like?
I love it. I mean, I had to give you 2 words. Love it.
That's what's up, man.
I love the bad days. I love the good days. I love the days when sometimes you just don't feel like waking up. I love everything about it. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know what I would do without it. You know what I'm saying? So it's a beautiful thing to try to help impact these girls' lives. You know what I mean? Right. And I think I have the ability to do it because I was around wonderful women growing up. You know, speaking of my mom, my grandmother, and then I got my sister. So just watching them, listening to their stories actually helps me go out here and understand how to coach females. You know what I mean? And sometimes as a male, you got to stand back. You got to stand back and let a female do her thing. But it's just, I mean, from the coach's standpoint, basketball is basketball at the end of the day. I think it's gender. You know, it's not all about the guys. I mean, it's just it's genderless, basically. I mean, it's oh man.
Yeah, and it's crazy that you say that too, because what I've noticed too, as like the older I got and the more interested just in basketball that I've gotten, one of the things I realized was that a lot of times, from what I've witnessed, watching college, like women's college basketball and watching men's college basketball, from what I've witnessed, I've noticed a lot of guys depend on their athleticism much more than the actual skill in the art of the game. Because I found myself at times watching a women's game and like, damn, like she's a technician. Like, oh my gosh, like she really like that. And it's rare. It's like I see that with guys too, but it's more, I can tell that a lot of guys that I've watched in terms of college basketball and stuff like that, it's more so dependent on that athletic ability. And I think that's where the women's basketball is just underrated. Because it's like, you know, people look at it, oh, they just want to see dunks and they just want to see people jumping high. And it's like, man, when you into basketball, like you understand that difference. And it's crazy to actually see that distinct difference. Like, oh my gosh, they really sweet. Like she will give me hell if she came to the gym. Like it's crazy. So, you know, I had to point that out.
I think the women's game and the guys' game too. I mean, I coach both. I mean, obviously I'm a male and I played it. I mean,
right.
It's more the women play below the rim.
Yeah.
They play below the rim. I mean, you got to be more tactical. You know what I mean? It comes down to, you know, obviously you have those good players on the team that can break down the defense and do amazing things. But everybody, those 5 girls and those 14 girls on the team, they're extremely skilled at a certain skill set that they have.
Yeah.
And it's not like that on guys, but I mean, the guy can be extremely fast and jump extremely high, and he can bail himself out with a lot of things.
Yeah, it's true.
But the women game is highly skilled. It's highly skilled and it's growing. The game is definitely growing.
Oh yeah.
As you can see in the WNBA and in the college game with this tournament for the past 2 years, it's just been incredible.
Oh yeah.
But they're on the up and coming, man. Kobe was kind of time when he was like pushing the women's game. He
was a pivotal point for that. Cause you know, so many Kobe fans and they like kind of interested, like, yeah, okay, Kobe putting a lot into women's basketball. Like it gotta be something. And then you hear a lot of people, oh, well, she worked out with Kobe and all like that stuff. It make a difference. And you can tell some of the difference, man. Cause like I said, that skill set is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to throw out there, man, before we go ahead and wrap up with the interview?
Nah, man, I just like to say, man, I'm extremely thankful to be on this podcast, man.
Glad to have you here, man.
Doing it in the studio and all that kind of good stuff. It's a blessing. on this podcast and you doing your thing. And I'm definitely gonna promote the Run podcast and let everybody know, man. Listen, he doing his thing. I love to do things the right way and grind.
Oh yeah.
Just don't.
Oh nah. We ain't. Come on now. We ain't doing that, man. Not at all. And just know. When we back at the set studio, or when I'm back at the set studio, this is a setup that works. I make something work. I make whatever work. But we at the set studio and people rolling back in person. Oh, just know you get in the car. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You get in the car there. But as far as that, man, anybody who's been hanging with us, greatly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate you tuning in. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, and you gotta follow Darryl on Twitter as well. But I'll let you throw yours out there first. I throw mine out there every episode. Go ahead and throw yours out there.
It's secret_is_work. So secret is work. So secret_is_work. That's
the secret right there. And that's the secret right there. But yeah, man, you got the Twitter. It's the same on Twitter and everything too?
For sure.
Bet it up. Well, you can find me on Instagram as well at The Run Podcast. You can follow my personal also at I am Manny Wilson. But yeah, so as far as now, we will be back next week and so on and so on and so on.